Brodes Media.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? It is another day, and it is another show where we get hype thinking about Eagles Packers. Unfortunately, there's some bad news, though, on the injury front. Thursday's practice, A.J. Brown missed it. Uh-oh. What does this really mean? Well, I have a few possibilities to throw your way, and then you can come up with your own conclusion. So I have that prepared for you. I want to play audio from Mike Lombardi, who gives bogus reasons why the Packers can upset Philadelphia. That's going to be fun. And also, Saquon Barkley talked about the crowd at home at the link and your phone call. So we have a doozy for you. Before we get into any of it, though, let's learn a bit about DraftKings, shall we? Playoffs. We're talking about playoffs. You bet we are. Get in on the action at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. Scoring touchdowns is key to winning in the playoffs, and you can score big by betting on them at DraftKings, the number one place to bet touchdowns. Ready to place your first bet? Try betting on something simple, like a player to score 6. Go to the DraftKings Sportsbook app and make your pick. How about a Jalen Hurts anytime touchdown? How about Saquon Barkley, Devontae Smith? You name it. Lines and odds are subject to change. DraftKings customers can bet $5 to get $200 in bonus bets instantly. So download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code BRODES. That's code BRODES for new customers to get $200 in bonus bets instantly when you bet just $5 only at DraftKings Sportsbook. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas, 21 plus age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after insurance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio. All right, let's begin with the biggest news of the day, and that, of course, is A.J. Brown missing practice. I want to read for you exactly the way Tim McManus wrote it in his ESPN article, because I think it shares a solid view of this, if you will. So he says here, Eagles star wide receiver A.J. Brown was absent from Thursday's practice as he manages a knee injury that Philadelphia does not believe will keep him out of Sunday's wildcard playoff game against the Packers. Brown was listed on Wednesday's practice report as limited with a knee/rest designation. Brown was spotted exiting the practice with a staffer less than 10 minutes into that session. He did not return, according to a team source, who added Brown's departure was all part of the plan. The Eagles struck a similar tone Thursday after Brown was not present on the practice field, maintaining that this is all part of the maintenance plan for the 3-time Pro Bowler, and the team expects him to play on Sunday. All right, so let's start with this. I do believe we see A.J. Brown on Sunday. I don't think he is going to not play on Sunday. Is it fair, though, to wonder what version, what percentage is AJ? I don't necessarily buy that this is all part of their master plan. Am I aware that there has been some lingering stuff with AJ? For sure, 1,000%. Look, when you make it this far into the season, when you are this deep into things, you are definitely not 100%. You have aches. You have bruises. You have injuries. You're banged up. And you have to find a way to battle through it and go compete at the highest level possible. Okay? So, yes, AJ obviously is going through pain. There's no way that Wednesday's practice, the goal was for him to show his face, and then before you even hit the 10-minute mark of being on the field, you're walking back through the tunnel. Because if you remember, they were at the link, and that's where they were practicing. So you're at the link, you're going back to that locker room before you even get much started. So I think something fell off for AJ Wednesday, and now they are playing the game. They're doing the whole, we're going to make this thing as weird, strange, bizarre, all over the place. You're going to get a little of this, you're going to get a little of that, and you don't know which way we're moving. Now, at the end of the day, let me tell you something. Matt LaFleur and the Green Bay Packers are assuming his ass is going to be on the football field, and his ass is going to be on the football field. So it's probably wasted energy to do the whole, hey, you got no clue, you're confused thing when you're discussing your number one wide receiver. What hits me most, though, is if he was about 75%, is he now 65? Is he now 60? Something was definitely very uncomfortable and off-putting. Knowing Jalen Hurts is finally returning from concussion protocol, there are valuable snaps between those two, considering it's almost been a month since Jalen has played a full game of football. You'd think him and AJ would like to get some snaps together, run a few routes, dial up a couple passes, get into some flow, even if it's not anything that's super high intensity, even if it's nothing that is crazy intense, just a few nice how do you do's, a couple nice reps, status quo, basic standard, fundamental throws between Jalen and AJ at this particular juncture of the season, knowing that Jalen hasn't been available. There's something to that. And AJ walked off. It's a little unsettling. There's no way in hell I'm going to pretend the Wednesday show the face walk back was just something that they had structured and something that they were going to do 1,000% just because that's part of how they were going to handle AJ and this knee problem. Nah, not buying it. But reality is, there's no excuses no matter what. You got Green Bay playing without their number one deep threat. You have Green Bay without Alexander. I don't want to hear it for a damn second. That's no excuses. Does it make the offense in the passing game more difficult if there is something going on? Sure. But I don't want to hear it for one damn second. You got the Lions with 75,342 guys on the defense alone on IR. You have guys hurt all over the league with teams that have, a view of trying to win a championship. If you got to deal with a bit of that too, and you have a taste of adversity as well, where A.J. Brown isn't a full go the way you would like, guess what? Shack up. And that's how you have to attack it. So it definitely wasn't my favorite thing in the world when I ended up giving myself a little scroll on Twitter to see, all right, what are we hearing from the link? All right, what are some of these beat reporters putting out? What? Excuse me? You're telling me now we got to deal with the fact that A.J. Brown isn't participating? Oh, not after last year. Not after what transpired with that Tampa Bay game. And I don't think it's that bad. I'm just telling you how I felt in the moment when I first got hit with that wave of emotions that we even have to deal with this nonsense anyway. So the two possibilities to lay it out cleaner here for you. Possibility one, truly part of the plan to manage the knee. Not buying it. Two, something happened Wednesday less than 10 minutes in. And then 2B, because of this situation, they decided, all right, let's make this as murky as possible. We wanted to do this. This. That. Now they don't know. All right. Wednesday, there was rest designated on the injury report. Now, we wait. Now, what's going to transpire on Friday? He's going to be out there. He's probably going to dominate. He's probably going to look great. Doesn't mean right now, though, I'm just taking it for face value because I'm not. All right, there's the A.J. Brown part of it all. Let's go to Mike Lombardi, who was on the Pat McAfee show. Take a listen to this bullshit.
Who should be on upset alert this weekend in the NFL?
Well, look, I think the Eagles have a challenge. I know Green Bay losing Watson is a problem, but Green Bay has this unique ability to score with Philly. Now, Philly can control the line of scrimmage and run the ball and do what they typically do, which is keep the ball for 36 minutes and run it. Remember, there was a period in the NFL that the Eagles were gaining more yards on the ground than through the air, which is a rarity. I mean, that's service academy-like qualities that the Eagles had. I think that's going to be a challenge. I mean, look, the North we know is good. I mean, Minnesota lost twice to Detroit. They lost to the Rams, but we know they're a good team. We know Green Bay's a good team, and they can pull an upset, and they can go on the road. Bill Walsh used to say this all the time. How do you quiet a crowd? Get first downs. Right? How do you make the crowd stop cheering, get first downs? Offensively is how you win on the road. That's why Coach Walsh had a better road record than he did home record in San Francisco because of the West Coast offense and his ability to get first downs. I think Green Bay has a chance. Obviously, the Rams have already beat Minnesota. Hopefully, they can play that game with all the devastation going out in Southern California right now. But I look at that Green Bay game and say, wow, I don't know if I want to draw that one right up there.
All right, so there's that on the Eagles front. Here's what's hysterical about him going on and on and on and on about these first downs and how that can quiet people in Philadelphia and how that's going to change the game and how the energy is going to get sucked out of that place. Let me explain something to you. What you're forgetting about, which is hysterical, is the fact that Zach Bond is fucking gross. Jalen Carter's an all-pro defensive tackle. Quinyon Mitchell doesn't get beat. Okay, Cooper DeJean is picking up Derrick Henry and throwing him back 15 yards and putting him on his ass. You're forgetting that Nolan Smith has come alive since the first time these two team plays. You're forgetting Nakobe Dean, when going downhill, is a stud and makes you earn it. And guess what, Josh Jacobs? You're going to get a taste of Nakobe Dean's spit as he wraps you up and as he goes, whoa, and brings it down. His spit's going to be flying. It's going to land right in your mouth. My point is this. You talk so loosely about getting first downs as if it's easy against this defense in this atmosphere. First downs will quiet. No. So, once again, let me explain this to you. Vic Fangio is going to swallow up Jordan Love. He is going to win this battle knowing that there is a monster loss with the explosive plays that Green Bay tries to hit with Watson. That's no longer available. That is going to limit them insanely. And now Vic Fangio, who probably still would have won the battle with the Watson out there, it only gets easier. Now he can get even more creative with his personnel, and his personnel is nasty. His personnel is gross. So I think it is pure comedy that you just randomly decide to throw out there. It's going to be an easy task to just go get first downs on the road as if you're going up against Swiss cheese, as if you're going up against a defense that was 30th in the league in passing D, in rushing D. Josh Jacobs, if you rely on that, like we can rely on Saquon. You could stack the box, and I still think you could get some serious production out of Saquon. I'm just saying, like he's that much of a monster. I like Josh Jacobs. It's definitely a step down from 2-6. But if they're going to try and pound that rock and play that game, you'll be punting. And then when you punt, let me explain how this is going to go. Here comes Jalen. Here comes a methodical drive. Here comes time of possession heavily in the favor of the Birds. Here comes an 8-minute drive. Here comes a 13-play drive. Here comes 7 points. So you can try whatever you want to try. This Eagles offense is going to get their first downs. And what happens is when Jordan Love is standing on the sidelines, one, our defense is very, very well rested. And two, the flow, the rhythm. Once you get back out there after not touching the ball for 9+ minutes and change, and then you go 3 and out and give our offense the football back, or let's say you get 1 first down and then punt. I mean, that's crushing. Jalen Hurts went on a 10+ minute drive against Mike Tomlin and the Pittsburgh Steelers defense? Dude, you're going to get a taste of reality. It's going to be so enjoyable to watch. It's going to be so enjoyable to do the post-game shows too, because I'm going to go, what do you want from me? I've only been explaining it for 7 days every day on the Eagles-Packers week. I've been trying to tell you. You didn't want to listen. You know, apparently, Green Bay Sports Talk Radio can't find content on their own. They've been ripping through my TikToks, ripping through my reels, sending me emails. I'd love to have you on, this and that. I had one show, there's 3 of them on there saying, this guy's an idiot. This guy's stupid. And I'm like, all right, listen. I mean, I am glad that I can provide work for you. I am glad that I can give you some sort of substance for your radio program, okay? Go ahead, bite into it. But once you see with your own 2 eyes everything that I have now described to you, I want an apology. I want it written by hand and mailed to me. I'll figure out a P.O. box. All right, so Jalen Hurts, by the way, officially listed as a full participant in practice on Thursday, which is a big step towards clearing the concussion protocol, of course. So that is where we stand on Thursday's practice report. A.J. Brown with knee/rest did not practice. Lane Johnson had rest. Kenny Pickett with ribs. Jack Driscoll with an ankle. Will Shipley with an ankle. We're all limited. So if you want the technicality of what was written on the graphic as the Eagles tweeted it out, that is where we are before Friday. Before Friday. It's pretty funny, though, how much we get sucked into this stuff. When I know it's the late afternoon and I know it's time to see videos of Jalen with the red jersey and the shoulder pads and what's he wearing on his hands and he's putting the helmet on, what are the reps like, what's Jordan Mailata saying, how does Lane Johnson feel, does it look crisp, does it look good, is Jalen feeling himself, how did the players vibe out there, all of it. It gets to that late afternoon and I'm glued. I can't focus on anything else in life. It's all right, give me the details, bitch. Who the bitch is, I don't know. Saying in general. Come on, I need it injected into my face. I keep saying I need my hand in the dirt, and I can't express it enough how true that is. I have to find this balance of appreciating the hype week. It's like Christmas Eve. Why is Christmas Eve always fun when you're little? Because of the anticipation of Christmas Day. Christmas Day was never as fun as Christmas Eve. The thought, the excitement, sneaking down to see the presents, the whole shebang. Well, in a way, the lead up of this battle, if you want to call it that, is definitely something that you should soak in. So I want to find a good amount of soaking it in. At the same time, I need my hand in the dirt because this place is going to be electric. And I'm not the only one saying this. Why don't you take a listen to Saquon Barkley on as he's getting ready, what he's kind of anticipating with this home playoff crowd.
The home games here are electric. So my expectation for first home game, I don't really know how much further they can take it, playing against them on the other side, and then playing a Monday night here, playing a Thursday night here, playing Sunday. It's like the way that they show up to games and how amazing our fan base are is out of this world. So I'm excited to be able to have one home game guaranteed in front of them, but hopefully go out there and do what we got to do.
So listen, think about this. Saquon with a week off, he had rest, his temple had some time to relax. His first cut. Yo, Mailata, Landon Dickerson. Yo, Cam Jurgens is in the secondary. All right, he's farther ahead than Quan is. And here's... Oh! To the 30! Oh! He's running downfield, baby! Can't get tackled. Takes it to the house and stares at the crowd with both hands up. And then he pulls out a celebration he's been waiting on. He had off last week, so he was preparing. He was going through all right, well, do I do this dance? Do I do a little dance, make a little love, get down tonight? How does this happen? And Mike Trout screaming, Bradley Cooper in the box. Then they show Howie just clapping the pro he is. Actually, Howie's good for a fist pump. I've seen Howie on the sidelines. Shame on me. Can't disrespect the celebrations of one Howie Roseman. All right, we're going to take your anytime hotline calls here. Before we do, though, my great friends at Garage Beer are the best. And there's a reason why they are the best. It's because they're fantastic people and they have fantastic beer. You don't have to worry about IPA, okay? It is the best light beer to ever touch my lips. I'm going to say that one more time. It is the best light beer to ever touch my lips. 0% IPA, 100% light beer, 1,000% quality. DrinkGarageBeer.com. All right, let's go to the phones. Let's do it.
Hey, Brodes, it's Dave. I'm gearing up with you for the Packers game. Very excited. Playoff football in Philadelphia. There's just really nothing like it. So I've been listening to a lot. I understand where the confidence is coming from, and I do believe, like you're saying, that we're going to win. There are a lot of people, a lot of the Philadelphia analysts, they also believe we're going to win. It's just not necessarily going to be a smackdown. It's going to be like a 1 touchdown, maybe 10-point win. What are your thoughts on the people who are saying stuff like that? Love the show.
Well, listen, 7 to 10 points is a good win. You can dominate a game and it may not reflect the points, right? Because I remember that Washington, even Cincinnati, there are times where the second half against the Bengals or once they took over against the Commanders in the win they had this season against Washington, there are times where you just see what an offensive line does to a team over 4 4 quarters, right? You see what the ability of Lane Johnson is like when there is a defensive end on the other side that gives up because they've already ran out of gas. They already ran out of fuel. They've done everything and tried to use every trick in their book, but their skill set just can't compete, but there's still a quarter and a half to go. It is so whatever. It destroys you. It does. It destroys confidence. It destroys any swag. It destroys any ability to get to Jalen Hurts. And you will see, my point is this, no matter if it's a 6-point win, a 7-point win, you win by 5, you win by 10, you win by 9, you win by 8, there's going to be a look to it. And the look is, yeah, you know where it started? It started in the trenches on both sides of the ball. Didn't Lombardi mention the trenches? Didn't Lombardi mention the big guys? Football's not very complicated. All right, sometimes you can simplify this thing to the easiest degree in the world. And when you win up front, and when you get home, and when those big men do their jobs and expose your flaws and impose their will, you're doomed. And I wouldn't be surprised if when the game is over and we're breaking it down, whether it's a 6-point win, 7-point win, 8-point win, you go, yeah, Green Bay didn't stand a chance because they just don't have the firepower to go up against Landon Dickerson, to go up against Mailata. The run blocking was superb. The run blocking won you the game. And then Saquon, sheesh. I mean, dude, you give him room to work like that, good Lord. And Jalen Carter wrecking the game. There's going to be a dominance within those trenches. That'll be the story. And if you dominate there, regardless on what the point differential is, you'll never succeed if you're Green Bay, and you'll see that. When the second half starts, and then let's say you're 7 minutes into the third quarter, you say, unless something changes with the lack of pressure by the Packers, if they could somehow manage to get through that blocking up front, then maybe they have a long shot chance to fight back in this game. But until that happens, it's all birds. And that's how I see it going. And it's just really because of my belief in the greatest offensive line in the NFL this year. There's not a team that has any ability to beat them. I mean, I watched Lane Johnson against TJ Watt. I've seen Lane Johnson against Michael Parsons. I've seen Lane Johnson against the rarest of rare with guys coming off the edge. He wins that. So show me schematically where Green Bay is going to pop off consistently. A play here or there, that happens. I'm talking consistently enough. Every time I ask that question, nobody can give me answers. All right, let's go to my guy Jacob in Kentucky.
Hey, bro, this is Jacob from Kentucky. I wanted to follow up on what you said after we got off the phone last night. I do think that the level of confidence you and I are sharing is something that could come back to bite us if they lose, but the difference is that I feel like Philly's set up for the future if they do fall short this time around. And I think Nick's going to get a lot of shit if they end up losing. But I do think that they're pretty consistent. And last year, the defense kind of let them down in spots, and you couldn't get tackles against Tampa Bay. This time around, they're the most physical team in the NFL. So I think that's going to make a big difference. Go Birds, 35-17.
All right, Jacob. I appreciate it. Always love talking to you here on Brodes Media or on WIP. I appreciate all the crazy support. Here's one thing I'm going to say, though. You know I love you to death, right? So this is just fun. But don't bring that energy into here. Come on, man. Don't bring that energy into here. We're so confident if they lose, Nick Sirianni. I don't know what you're talking about. Huh? What? Come on, man. They ain't losing. We have an obligation. When your team is a 14-win football team, when your team is second in the NFC and they're facing a 7th seed, a Green Bay team that can't beat playoff teams, 2-5 against playoff teams, a Green Bay squad that can't beat Detroit, can't beat Minnesota, can't beat Philadelphia this year, 0-5 against all of them, allowing an average of 30 points per game against them. We have a duty, and it's to ride with them. And not just go, hey, no. There's a reason why they finished where they did this year. There's a reason why our team went on a crazy win streak after the bye and beat good teams. Baltimore on the road, LA on the road, Pittsburgh. You beat some good teams. And once again, consistently. When you have to play them back to back to back, and you travel, and you have Washington, a division rival, and they were playing good football at the time, and that's in there too. Not that they're all the greatest teams in the world, but it shows you over a length of time. If all you're doing is beating all of these good opponents and not having a hiccup along the way until 10 games or so, you only do that if you're special. And we have an obligation to head into this with a special group, with the biggest nutsack in the world, with the biggest balls. You gotta. They deserve it. They've earned that. All right. We'll end it here. We'll wrap things up here. I love you guys. You're fantastic. You're beautiful people. I love you more than anything. Thank you all so much for the crazy support. If you're new, you can subscribe. You can take the show on the road with you by going to Apple Podcasts, Spotify, searching Sports Talk with Brodes or Brodes Media. You can leave a 5-star rating over there and a review and subscribe. That would mean the absolute world. Thank you all so much, and I will catch you all on the next one. Go Birds!